Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, your movie apprentice, and I am not Death, Destroyer of Worlds. But that person is indeed Christopher Nolan's new movie, Oppenheimer, based on Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Starring Cillian Murphy in the lead role alongside an all-star cast including Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Scott Grimes, Alden Ehrenreich, David Krumholtz. There is a vast list of cast in this. This film depicts the entirety of Robert Oppenheimer's life, from his early days to learning this new brand of quantum physics, to bringing it over to the USA, to his time leading the Manhattan Project and the fallout of what would happen to him after the Manhattan Project. To start off with the performances, Cillian Murphy gives a career best performance as the tortured soul that is Dr. Robert Oppenheimer. I did a little bit of research into Oppenheimer before watching the movie, so I'd try and have some form of idea of what was his life like besides just being the guy who helped build the bomb. And I'm glad I did, because there are a lot of names and a lot of things that are rushed through in the first 40 to an hour within this movie. And for those that haven't known anything about it before going into this, it's nice to learn a little bit about him before going into this, because those of you that might be expecting this to be just about the making of the bomb and dropping it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that would be a disappointment to you, because this goes beyond that. It goes beyond just the building of the bomb. It goes into what happened to him afterwards. It goes into his anti-nuclear stance after the bomb was made. He is very much a physicist, and physicists do this thing where they think of these grand things, the potential of science and the possibilities. And like Jeff Goldblum famously says in Jurassic Park,
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
and I feel like the Manhattan Project and the development of nuclear weapons is the definition of that phrase. Oppenheimer famously, once he had successfully created the atomic bomb, he was very much against its use. He hated the second bombing on Nagasaki, whilst he was all for building the bomb and feeling it was necessary, because the Germans during World War II were also trying to build it and he couldn't trust the Nazis with it. There was that moral dilemma of it for him, and Cillian Murphy just plays that role superbly well. Robert Downey Jr. as well plays a character named Strauss, who knows Oppenheimer and worked with him for a while, but this was after the Manhattan Project, and half this film is focusing on two hearings. You can break this up into segments. So you have Oppenheimer's early life, his time on the Manhattan Project, the government trying to take away his security license because they didn't like the fact that he was very against nuclear development during the height of the Cold War. So they tried to pin communism on him and trying to take his security clearance so he wouldn't be able to say and speak on matters of national security. And you have Strauss, who is applying for a position in the president's cabinet, but he's undergoing a hearing because of prior affiliations with Dr. Robert Oppenheimer. This film also has various great performances by people that are in supporting roles, and these are roles that are not normally in. There are a lot of big actors in this that deliver fantastic performances in the small amount of screen time they are given. Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Alden Ehrenreich, Kenneth Branagh, Jason Clarke, David Krumholtz. They are all very good at doing the job they are given. Now, I have seen people think that this film is pro-war, and I'm not going to discredit anyone that thinks that way. End of the day, this is film, and like with physicists, you will discuss, you will disagree, you will have ideas and interpretations of the movie. Personally, I feel like it is very obvious. It is very much an anti-war film. There are certain moments in this that physically made me feel sick in a way. The contrast between people upon hearing the news of Hiroshima based on their standing and involvement within the project was really well done. And it doesn't make Robert Oppenheimer, it doesn't apologize for him. He is never portrayed as this outright martyr, divine good guy that was just trying to do what's best for his country. he is depicted as what he was. He was an egomaniac. He was a womanizer. He had several affairs. He disagreed with policies but wouldn't commit to going against them when it came to leftist ideologies and communism, and outright speaking out against dropping the bomb on Japan, despite many others wanting the bomb to never be dropped. Because the whole idea was they started the project to beat the Nazis, but by the time they got to finishing the bomb, Germany had already surrendered, which meant Japan had the fallout. And some people are saying that they should have focused more on the people affected by the actual bomb. But the thing is, this film is called Oppenheimer. It is about the man behind the bomb. And quite frankly, I feel like it would have been in very, very, very bad taste to recreate the horrors of the two attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even the bomb itself, it doesn't come across as a glorious achievement when we do get to it. And I must say that Nolan expertly crafts the tension building up to Trinity, the code name for the actual test project of the atomic bomb. There is a lot of tension building up to it, and when we finally get to that point, it does hit hard, and it very much focuses not on the bomb itself, but on J. Robert Oppenheimer's outlook for it. I think one of my favorite quotes I've read about Oppenheimer when people have talked about him is he was a physicist that was curious if he could achieve this miracle, and once he had, he was horrified by it and spent the rest of his life advocating against the development of such weapons. And I love the arc of his character throughout this story. I will say the actor that plays Einstein as well is really good, and this film did educate me in certain things. For one, for some reason, I always pictured Einstein as being a scientist that died in the early 1900s. So seeing he was not only alive during the development of the atomic bomb, but he actually lived till 1955. For reference, my dad was born only 5 years after Einstein. He missed out on being on the same planet as Einstein by 5 years. It honestly just blows my mind. I also enjoy the conversations between characters because this film is very much a discussion. There are several conversations about morality and science. The music was composed by Ludwig Göransson. I've probably mispronounced that terribly. His name is on the screen now, but this score hits really different. The Destroyer of Worlds piece, especially, is haunting and will be on my playlist for some time to come. And that's the biggest comment I can give this film is that I obviously did the Barbenheimer double feature. I watched Barbie first, then this, because that's the only way it aligned with my work schedule. And whilst I really enjoyed Barbie, and don't worry, I will be getting to review of that, I could figure out what I liked about Barbie within 10 minutes of watching it. I could say what I liked, what I disliked. With Oppenheimer, I had to just sit and reflect on what I had just witnessed, what I had just learned. And this film very much acts as almost a warning to us today. The way it ends, it's not hopeful in any way, shape, or form. It is very much a harsh warning and an almost macabre way of saying it's probably too late to change the course of history. There are conversations. Does history forgive Oppenheimer? Like everyone knows, everyone that's even seen an image of the devastation of Hiroshima and Nagasaki knows that it wasn't necessary to drop their bombs. Japan was going to surrender one way or the other, and the film very much focuses on that moral quandary of when is it right and when it is wrong to use these weapons, and very much stamps in its anti-nuclear message. And the character of Oppenheimer is just the icing. Every member of the cast does a fantastic job in this movie. If you like what you're seeing on the channel, do consider to click that like button, subscribe, and comment what is your favorite Christopher Nolan movie, because I feel like this is definitely him back doing some of his best work ever. But to summarize, Oppenheimer, it's 3 hours long. It does not feel it in any way, shape, or form. Murphy and Downey Jr. give career best performances, and all supporting cast do an absolutely stellar job in this. The score is almost orgasmic to the ears. The fact we've got this score, we've still got to look forward to Dune Part 2 score towards the end of the year. The best score, Oscar, is going to be interesting next year, to say the least. The ideas of discussion and the theological elements of it are really well done. And I like that this film opens up a discussion whether you do believe it is pro-war or anti-war. That is up to you, and we should be able to discuss these matters. And was Oppenheimer a good guy? Like, it's almost like the medium place in the good place. Like, he built the bomb, but he spent the rest of his life advocating against nuclear development and arms race. So where's the balance outcome from that? It's a really effective bit of cinema. This is definitely Christopher Nolan back at his best. Though I will say it can get a bit jarring at times. It does take a while to get used to the way that it juggles three plot threads at once from different time periods. It works really well, but it does take a while to get used to. So for me, I'm going to have to say that Oppenheimer is a great cup of tea. So Oppenheimer, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow me on Letterboxd, and look forward to more video content like this coming all the time. But until next time, my name is Josh. I have been your movie apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.